when things are stable and even going well, the soul is sort of quiet. It's only when things are disrupted or there's a painful shooting or something that agitates the soul. Heartbreak is an opportunity for soul emergence. It's an opportunity for connection to shared humanity. It's an opportunity to be with the divine. The Bible has like tons of lamentations, which is talking about this space of just lamenting. And there might be an inherent human aspect of being in mourning and heartbreak.
Yes. Okay. I love that, what you're saying about that when the heart breaks, as it were, there's room for it to grow.
Well, there's room for the soul to come out, your humanity to grow. When the heart is hardened, maybe that's layers and layers of artifice. Sort of where Eugene was saying that we're the ones who can pretend, but nature is just nature. No pretending. So as you have layers and layers of rules and hardened wounds, you avoid this, you avoid this, you avoid this. It takes heartbreak to wake you back up, to get your deeper essence out. Working with the soul is sort of this quiet energy that has to be coaxed out. It's like wild animals. You can't just go up straight to them. They're cautious.
So when you're working, you are, as it were, creating a calm for these people so that they have a point of repose from which to start to explore. That's what I'm sensing. Maybe I'm not feeling this correctly, but it's what I sense.
Well, there is this sort of closing energy when your heart breaks. Or there's a sort of vulnerability. So maybe your heart breaks, your world falls apart. The rug gets pulled up from underneath you. And that surprise puts you in a state of shock. So your ego defenses, using Freudian terms or something, tries to repair that fracture through defensive strategies. So the natural inkling is to defend up or fix or something. Do something that's empowering to your ego. So it almost takes someone else to stay calm and say, let's invite or recognize the soul and our humanity is part of this process. Maybe our humanity can help save or rebuild us instead of taking action too quickly.
What I'm noticing is, so there's a sort of twofold thing here, that you have this this wonderful kind of theoretical structure understanding from different kind of all these ideas that you bring to bear, and at the same time there's this connection energy along with it. There's this combination of kind of having frameworks to look at these people, and at the same time a deep empathy you feel for the situation that they're in. Am I anywhere close?
Well, this is like
the two work together.
There's a deep empathy of maybe, I don't know if it's the masculine side of, it might be the feminine side of love, which is ambivalent. There's a disconnected watcher presence of love that isn't enmeshed, that sort of is just always there. That's part of that yearning, and that's something that's not so modeled in our current society. The sort of calm presence and maybe cheerleading from afar, or these small little tips and just waiting for the person to pick up their humanity or join in. And sort of holding that signal of agony of a truly artistic endeavor. You try to capture a moment of the divine, sort of your internal to the external. And you inherently know that you're never going to fully capture the beauty. Or you can only capture a tiny part of the divine beauty. But it's still worthy to try and put the effort, even though you know you're going to fail or that you can't get there.
Gosh. I just wonder, it feels to me as if there's something that in your cultural family background that gives you this, I don't know, this rootedness, deep rootedness and calm. And you bring the two things to bear together, this sense of calm and this sense of understanding. How can I help you? What can we do in the 40 seconds to
this is all just sort of maybe the path of cultivating humanity, cultivating virtue, the old path of self-mastery, which is about not just understanding, it's embodying the wisdom to have enough temperance and virtue so you can live the teachings, or you can try to make mistakes to get to the point of living the teachings more. Because you never really, there's always more you can master, there's always more you can cultivate in virtue.
Does the universe affirm what you're doing? That you're doing a wonderful job?
I suppose. Let's see how Eugene.
I think it was a beautiful session. First was continuation. Is almost like there was a thread on all this conversation from the first one to this one. One thing that I was fascinated by was, among other things, the ability of Peter to really listen fully and simply offer his observations and how he felt listening to Deef. I think to me, it struck me as a light fingerprint of the coach. Almost like in medicine where they say, just do no harm. So that was beautiful to observe, and also to be vulnerable and constantly ask, how may I help you? When as a coach, if I'm lost, it's almost as if it's good for me to be with myself that I'm lost. How can I help you? Instead of pretend to do something, act for the sake of acting. And so that's, in this session was striking.
Of note, you pointed out that Peter was joining in being vulnerable. And then also we step back from pretending, and we step back from just taking action for the sake of actions, which is sort of the lesson right now. Because our ego wants to take over. That's part of the pointer. And that gets in the way of your soul and your heart opening up more and softening into the pain and inviting the soul and your humanity to come out and share some wisdom, share some learning from this, noticing the tragic nature of humanity. These evils will continue. And it's a calling to become more human.
So I think this session made me a little lighter. So, I need to go do something. That's why I'm out here. I need to go listen to some music and do something. Not to keep a heavy heart, because my heart is quite heavy and sad. So this session was, I can say, making my burden lighter, but it's it made me see different perspective, different angle, and in doing so, it made me be happier, a little happier than when I came here.
It's something. It's okay to have a heavy heart. Sometimes that's something you can integrate. There's some weight to that. We didn't get to explore that too. That was last week with Peter talking about getting your feet grounded and stuff. That's gravity. But maybe heartbreakingness or heavy heart can also be a way of gravity and groundedness and rootedness.
What a good statement. A heavy heart sometimes keeps your feet on the ground.